Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram. Jai Nidai Gauranga, Jaya Nidai Gauranga, Nidai Gauranga, Jaya Nidai Gauranga. Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jam Vishnupad Brahmans Parivrajakajarya Sto Darshan His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita Jitis Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees for today's Bhagavad Gita discussion. We'll be reading from chapter 4 from Bhagavad Gita entitled as The Transcendental Knowledge and text number 34, one of the very important words from Bhagavad Gita. Please repeat after me. Tadviddhi pranibhatena pariprashnena sevaya updekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Tadviddhi pranibhatena pariprashnena sevaya updekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. One more last time. Tadviddhi pranibadena pariprashnena sevaya updekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Please repeat the translation after me. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Hare Krishna. So we'll cover the purport through our discussion. This is one of the very important words from Srimad Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is saying, Tadviddhi pranipatena. Vidhi means to know. If you want to know, this is spiritual knowledge. So Krishna is teaching us that how one can know this spiritual knowledge. So what we have to do is saying pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Three things you should remember. Pranipat. What is pranipat means? Approaching a bona fide spiritual master. If you want to understand the spiritual knowledge, you can go to Google, type something, whatever your question, ChatGPT. They'll give you nice answers. But that is just information. You cannot know that knowledge. If you want to know the knowledge, you have to go to the Guru. So that is pranipat. And then when you go to the Guru, what you should do? Pariprashnena. Prashna. Ask the question. But how to ask the question? Submissively inquire from the Guru, not challenging. Can you show me God? You can challenge. You will not understand the knowledge. Submissively you should inquire. So go to the Guru, pranipat, pariprashna, ask your questions. And not only just keep asking the questions, 100 questions and 100 answers, and you go on with all this question answer session. Doesn't help much. Along with these questions, sevaya. Tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya. Go to the Guru, inquire from him submissively, and also render the service, seva. That is very important element. And when we do that, then Krishna is saying, Uptekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Those tattvadarshi means self-realized personalities, not ordinary person. When you talk about the Guru, it is not like some ordinary person. They are tattvadarshi, they are self-realized people. When you go to them, inquire from them, and also do the seva, then they can impart knowledge unto you. Because they are tattvadarshi. Tattvadarshi means those who have seen the truth. They know. They can also give you that vision. So this is the verse. Let us discuss some important aspects. Prabhupada writes very nice important points in this purport. I'll tell you one verse, and it might be a little uncommon verse. I don't know any of you have ever heard or read that verse, but I'll anyway share that. And I'll explain the meaning. How many of you know Sanskrit here? Not like great scholars, but a little bit something. Okay, I'll try to explain that we all make the sense that what verse I'm reading. So this verse goes like this. Says, Drashtava keshasham pativa. Let me just read the verse and then I'll explain. Drashtava keshav patitam pandav harsha nirbhara rudanti kaurava sarve ha ha keshava keshava. This is the verse. Right? What is that verse? I'll explain the meaning. Drashtva keshav patitam. When they saw Drashtva, what they saw? Keshav patitam. Keshav, who is Keshav? Krishna. Drashtva keshav patitam. Patitam means fall down. So when they saw Krishna has fallen down, Pandava harsha nirbhara. The Pandavas, they saw that Krishna has fallen down. Then what happens? Harsha nirbhara. Harsh means like they are very, happy. So when the Pandavas saw Krishna has fallen down, Pandava harsha nirbhara. Nirbhara means they are filled with joy by seeing Krishna has fallen down. Rudanti kaurava sarve. Kaurav, when they saw this, then they are rudanti. Kauravas started crying, oh, Krishna is fallen. Rudanti kaurava sarve. Ha ha, Keshava, Keshava. And they're saying, alas, alas, oh Keshava, Keshava, you have fallen down. So when Pandavas saw Krishna has fallen down, they are very joyful. But Kauravas saw that Krishna has fallen down, they started crying. Rudanti Kaurava sarve. Ha ha, Keshava, Keshava, like that. They're shouting, oh Krishna, Krishna, Keshava. How many of you know this story? Any of you know this story? One person? Nobody knows. Because that story doesn't exist. There's no such a story. I just tricked you into something. That is not the real meaning of that verse. Right? What is the real meaning? Drashtava keshavam patitam. When Pandava, what is the Pandava means? It is not that Pandav, Kaurav, Pandav. Pandav means those who are born in the water. Pa means the water, Anda means the anda, egg. So aquatics. So when they saw Pandava means all these aquatics, what they saw? Keshavam. They saw the shav. Shav means the dead body. So when all these aquatics saw a dead body floating on the water, Then Harsha Nirbhara, they are just celebrating. Oh wow, today we will eat this dead body. So Drashtava Keshav Patitam Pandav Harsha Nirbhara. So these aquatics were celebrating. And then Rudanti Kaurava Sarve. And somebody was crying. Who was crying? Kaurava. Kaurava means one who makes a very bad sound, like the jackals. So they were standing and the water, that dead body is floating in the water, and they're crying, oh my God, like we lost this body. We would have eaten if it was on the land. So that is the meaning of this verse. But how it sounded in the beginning? Why I said this story is, this verse is very important. It is in connection with this verse. That if you really want to understand the meaning, the true import of the scriptures, you had to learn it from the spiritual master. Just because you know Sanskrit, you know some other words or something, you can make a completely different meaning. Not only different meaning, you can just make some complete contradictory meaning, which is just opposite to the real meaning. Right? That is why it is very important that one should approach a bona fide spiritual master. Krishna is saying, Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Try to approach a bona fide spiritual master if you want to learn the truth, if you want to learn this knowledge. A spiritual master will help. Otherwise, we can just misinterpret it. Right? It is just like a person who does not know much cooking. If he's sent in the kitchen, now this kitchen has like so many different varieties of ingredients, fruits and everything. And this person doesn't know much cooking. He go there, what he will cook? Though everything is there, what he can cook? Probably some simple khichdi or boil some rice or something, because he doesn't know cooking. So in the same way, our scriptures are like that kitchen where there's so many varieties of ingredients are there. So much of knowledge is there that you can pick. But you cannot cook because you don't know. But if the expert chef is sent into the kitchen, and when he sees all this, he will pick the right things and he'll prepare wonderful feast. Right? So that expert chef is that spiritual master. He knows what to pick, how to cook, how to prepare, and what to feed, so that you can be nourished. So just by reading the books, just going and doing some search on Google, some chat GPT and all of that, you will not get nourished spiritually. We had to take the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. That is what Krishna is saying here. Also another example I remember, if there is a big fire, and if I ask you, go and touch this fire, how many of us can touch the fire? Nobody can, unless we are crazy. Will not even dare to do that. Right? You cannot touch the fire. So Shastra says that Krishna is like that big fire. You cannot access Krishna, the knowledge of Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Directly we cannot touch that. But then there is a way. There is a big fire and some things I have to do in the fire. I cannot directly touch. But if I take a piece of a wood log, one stick or something like thick stick, and with the help of that I can still, maneuver it. I can do something. So that via media, fire you cannot directly touch, you cannot directly access, but if you get something in between, and that is the spiritual master, which is the actual link to Krishna. So that is what is said here. Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevya. One should approach a bona fide spiritual master. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, there's many verses. One of the verses says, Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. If somebody is Jigyasu, somebody is very inquisitive, they want to know what is this world, what is the goal of my life, where is God, who is God, and all those kind of inquiries, then Gurum Prapadyeta, go to a Guru. And Prapadyeta means surrender to that Guru. Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. One who is Jigyasu, he should approach a bona fide spiritual master. Right. So this purport says in the Bhagavatam, any person who seriously desires to achieve real happiness must seek out a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. This is the way to have the access to the spiritual knowledge. By our scholastic approach, or by we dint of, I know Sanskrit or something like that, I memorize all the verses, we cannot have access to the true import of the knowledge. That is one important thing. So one time, there's this boy who was a happily living young boy, and one day he was walking on the road. And suddenly, he realized that somebody came from the back, and then before he could even see and realize that who is this person, he felt like this bunch of people came, they just blindfolded him. And before he could understand and he could do anything, he was put into a kind of a van, and then after a while he found himself in a completely alienated place. When he opened his eyes, he saw like, where am I now? I don't know this place. He realized that he was kidnapped. So he was wondering, he was panicked, and he was just thinking like, how can I get released from here? Somebody should. And then he found like his hands, his legs, everything was like tightly bound by the rope. He couldn't even move much, and blindfolded and like that. Somehow he managed to just remove that blind. And then he saw, I don't know this place, nobody is there. He was trying to, seek some help. Luckily, after a while, he saw there is another person. And he said, maybe I should call out this person. He should come and help me to, untie my hands and legs and all that. He called out. Says, hey, can you please come and help me? And this person says, yes, I can help you. And this person came. And he started trying to help this person to untie. And he was putting all the efforts, doing this way, that way, so many things he tried. Unfortunately, this person cannot untie him. Any guesses? Any possible answer? Why? This person, despite all his efforts, all his intentions to help this person, to untie him, this person couldn't help him. What can be the possible answer? Sorry, say loud. Yes, that's the answer. See, that person, the other person who was also trying to help, he himself was bound. His hands were tied. But still he said, oh yes, come on, we can do this, that. You can talk so many things. But a person who is bound cannot help the other person who is bound. To release the bound person, the person who is helping should be liberated person. And that is what is the position of a spiritual master. Why I am saying this, Guru is not some ordinary position like you become my Guru and I made this person Guru. No, there is a qualification. So if that person is not a liberated soul, he himself is bound here in this world by the laws of this world, by this material nature, 3 modes of material nature. That person, he may want to help, but is not capable of helping you to unbound from this bondage of this material world. Right? So Prabhupada says he must be held by a person who is unbound, because the bound cannot help the bound. The rescuer must be liberated. Therefore, only Lord Krishna or his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, can release the conditioned soul. Without such superior help, one cannot be freed from the bondage of material nature. So if you really want to, anytime you realize that, okay, I had to get free from this bondage, then you have to go to the Guru. And that Guru also should be a liberated person, unbound person. He cannot be one among us. We ourselves are bound. He cannot help. Right? So it is very important that who is the Guru to understand. See, what happens sometimes, people get tricked by all these externals. Oh, he's like such a powerful man and he speaks so nice when he gives the lectures. The whole audience is mesmerized. He quotes the verses. That is all nice to mesmerize the audience, the crowd. But not necessarily this is the qualification of a Guru. Guru's qualification is different. That is why we have to understand from the scriptures. These all externals doesn't help. Nowadays there are very good orators. They speak, they give the lecture, and people clap and say, wow, what a lecture. And then you ask what a lecture is, I forgot everything. Nothing gets into the head. So Guru is a bona fide spiritual master who is coming down in a Guru Seshya Parampara. And this is what this chapter, this is how it begins. Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarsho Viduhu. So this knowledge is coming down in the chain of disciplic succession, Guru Seshya Parampara. So to that bona fide spiritual master, one should go, and then what we should do? First you approach, Tadvidi pranipadena, then pariprashnena. Then ask the questions. What question you should ask the Guru? Then Guruji, I lost my job. Can you suggest me some better job? Or how can I keep my health better? I'm putting on some weight. Do you have some suggestion for me how to lose weight? These kind of questions. You will see actually, unfortunately, people ask this kind of questions to the so-called gurus. But our scripture says that is not the real inquiry. You go to doctor, no? If you are interested in good health, job, some consultant go, they will guide you. That is not Guru's job. So what question we should ask from a bona fide Guru is, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. It should be Brahma Jigyasa. Not all this worldly Jigyasa. Brahma Jigyasa is, Ke ami ke ne amai jaketa patraye. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, this is Brahma Jigyasa. Ke ami. It is in Bengali. Who am I? Why I am here in this world? What is the purpose? Jagat tapatra. Why I am suffering these threefold miseries? Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik. I don't want to suffer. But invariably all these sufferings are inflicted on me. Can you please guide me? Can you please help me? This is called Brahma Jigyasa. So this is pariprashnena. Ask the right questions. And submissively we should ask the question. Right. And not only just keep asking the questions. Guruji, I have 1,000 questions. Can you answer me? Yes, Guru can answer. But there will be no transformation in the heart. The transformation happens through the seva. So that is the third item. Pranipatena, pariprashnena, and then also we should do the seva. There's beautiful real story of a great personality who was the founder of Banaras Hindu University, a very famous BHU in those days. Very, very intelligent man, very scholar, very reputed person. He came to meet Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta is the guru of Srila Prabhupada. So in those days. So he came with some inquiry, spiritual inquiry. He says, Swamiji, I need some of your time. I have some questions. Can you, spare some time and then we can discuss? I want to understand. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur Maharaj told him, yes, we'll discuss that. But before that, if you can help a little bit, look at those brahmacharis in the mutt, in the ashram. So those brahmacharis are actually doing some seva. They were actually washing the pots, the DT paraphernalia. So he says, if you have some time, can you go and just little help them washing and all that, and then come back quickly. Now this man, though he was a big man and all that, but then out of respect to the sadhu, he did not say no. He says, yes, I can do that. So he goes to those brahmacharis and say that your guru is asking me to help you. So tell me, how can I help? And they say, come on in and then wash. And for some time he got engaged in washing the pots, cleaning and all of that. And then he came back to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur Maharaj. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur Maharaj says, okay, now tell me what are your questions. He folded his hands and he says, Swamiji, no questions. All my questions are answered already. Now, for many of us, it might be very mysterious. We might say, what you are talking, like, logically it doesn't make sense. What we have to see from the scriptures, because the scriptures are saying that knowledge will be transferred into heart. It will be imparted unto you only by seva. So because he did some seva under the guidance of such a great guru, somehow mysteriously the knowledge was transferred into the heart. So this is the process of receiving this spiritual knowledge. It is not by some scholastic approach that you read, you are very intelligent, you are very sharp, you have the sharp memory, you memorize the verses and you analyze very nicely and all of that. That is very external. The real knowledge will be imparted in the heart. So this is the process of receiving this spiritual knowledge. Krishna is suggesting tadviddhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya. So one should approach a bona fide spiritual master, and it is so very important. You see that all great personalities, including Lord Krishna himself. Krishna is said as Krishna Vande Jagat Guru. He is the Jagat Guru. He doesn't need any guru. But Krishna also accepted a guru. Who was Krishna's guru? Sandipni Muni. Why? Krishna needs any knowledge. He wanted to teach all of us a lesson that if you are seriously interested in your spiritual path, spiritual progress, You had to go and submit to a bona fide spiritual master. Krishna, Lord Ramchandra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his Guru was Ishwar Puri, Vyasadeva, his Guru was Narad Muni. Right? You take any name, all of them they accepted the Gurus. Like that. So it is must. We cannot say, no, I'm intelligent enough, smart enough, and I'll figure out my own way. We cannot. So this is the understanding. Because as we are discussing that Krishna, who is the source of all the knowledge, like a fire. Also think of this another analogy, that Krishna is the source of knowledge. Like knowledge is being generated there. So you see sometimes the electricity which is generated in the whatever plant or somewhere. Now that it is generating a lot of electricity there, but there has to be a way to receive how the end user will use. You cannot say, no, I'll go to that water generation or plant and I'll take some electricity. How you will take? You cannot. So Krishna is that source of all this knowledge. How it is coming down? It is coming down through Guru Sishya Parampara. So like see, there is a plant, generation happens, then there is a transmission happens, there are transmission lines and distribution, and then finally it comes to the end user. So this is the way, this is Guru Sishya Parampara. Krishna is given this knowledge. Whom he gave? Krishna gave this knowledge to Brahmaji, then Brahmaji to Narad Muni, then Vyasadeva, and like that in the transmission is happening. Guru Sishya Parampara. And then you see, when sometimes you go on the freeways and you see the transmission lines, but in between you need some towers. You cannot like stretch a line from there to here, end user. There are in between some towers. So those towers are like these towering personalities, the acharyas. So it comes and then one acharya in one time, in one particular time. Then it will further pass on to next acharya, then next acharya. So there are all these towering personalities through which we receive. And then finally it comes to the transformer, and then it comes to our system, like in our house. And then you have the power socket. Right? Now how do you make sure that all the way from that generating plant, and you doesn't even know where it is getting generated. You doesn't even probably know where is the powerhouse. But when you put the socket, the plug in the socket, how do you know that electricity coming? What is the way? Probably you should try to put your finger and say, oh yeah, it is coming. We cannot do that, right? Simple answer is, if you put something, the bulb will glow. It means that is the proof that electricity is coming all the way from there to here. Bulb has to glow. So in the same way, when we get connected to the bona fide Guru Sishya Parampara, something should glow here. Chamakna kuch. Some light should glow. That is called the enlightenment. So you cannot be the same person. If you are actually got connected to a bona fide Guru, you cannot be the same person. There has to be the transformation. And that is the proof that you got connected to the original source of knowledge. For that, you have to have the right person, the right socket, and that is the acharyas. They're coming down. So this is how this is the system of receiving this knowledge, and that is what Krishna is explaining. Now, one important thing is, see, this knowledge is so vast. If you talk about our scriptures, how many verses, any idea? We can't even imagine, like it is a millions and billions. Just to get some sense of like how many verses are there. In the Bhagavad Gita, how many verses? 700. Bhagavatam? What? 18,000, not 1800. 700 in Bhagavad Gita, 18,000 in the Bhagavatam. Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, 24,000 Sanskrit verses, Valmiki Ramayana. Mahabharata, 100,000, 1 lakh verses. I just named just very few famous, Ramayana, Mahabharata and all that. The 4 Vedas, 108 Upanishads, then Puranas, 18 Puranas, Aranyakyas, and then so many Samhitas and all of, so much. Question is, how do someone ever read that? We don't have the time. We can't even read that. Right? So what is the point? Krishna knew all this situation in Kali Yuga. So these people will never read. They will never even look at the books. By seeing the size of the book only, they'll fall sick. So then Krishna quickly gave a crash course in just 45 minutes. And that crash course was Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Just 700 verses. So it is said, Sarv Upanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandana. The essence of all the scriptures, all the Upanishads and Vedas and everything, Sarv Upanishado Gavo. If you take all the scriptures like the cow, just like analogy, then what is important in the cow? Somebody should milk the cow and the milk should come out. That is the essence of the cow. So all the Upanishads has been compared to the cow, and Dogda Gopala Nandana. Somebody is milking that cow. Who is milking? Krishna is milking that cow. All the scriptures, I am giving you the milk. Vasa Sudhir Bhokta. Partha Vasa Sudhir Bhokta. And who is enjoying that milk? Arjuna. He gave that, okay, here is a milk, take this. So this is Bhagavad Gita. So if we read Bhagavad Gita through a bona fide spiritual master, then we can receive this knowledge. And when we go to the spiritual master, like all this knowledge of the scriptures, there is a way that how to receive. Like Upanishad, what is the meaning of Upanishad? First of all, this knowledge is very, very complex. There are so many verses in the Upanishad. One verse is Tad ejati tannejati tad dure tad antike taddu sarvascha bhahyascha. Like this is the verse which says about the Lord, tad dure tad antike. Lord is dur, is very far. Tad antike, but he is very close. The person is far or is close. He is inside, he is outside. He said, where he is exactly, tell me, and inside or outside. So these are the kind of languages being used in the Upanishads. You cannot even make out like what somebody is trying to say. It is like a crypted language. You have to decode it. We cannot do that. Decoding. Guru only has to do. So the Upanishad means, Up means close. Like we call it Upvas. Up means close, Vas means to stay. So Upvas is not starving. That you're fasting all day and you say, no, I'm starving. I'm just waiting when it will get end and I'll eat. I'll eat together for 2 days. And that is not. Upvas means the idea is you cut on your cooking, eating and all that time so that you can spend more time with the Lord. Upvas, you stay close to the Lord. In the same way, Upanishad, Up means close, Ni. Ni means niche. Like you have to take a low position, humble position. So go to a guru very close and then take a humble position. Sit down there and submissively inquire. Tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena. So you should inquire submissively from a guru, and this is how, when guru is satisfied, then the knowledge will be imparted unto us. There's a very beautiful story. See what Prabhupada is saying here, one important point, we'll touch on this. So we discussed about Pranipat, Pariprashna and Sevya. Prabhupada is saying in the purport, one of the lines he says, is very, very, it's like a secret revealed. If you understand this, Prabhupada is saying, satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in a spiritual life. I'll repeat it again. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in a spiritual life. So this is the secret. Secret is not that I finished all the books, I memorized all the verses, and I do this, I do that. That is not the secret. Secret is satisfaction of the spiritual master. And Krishna actually, reinforces this fact in the Srimad Bhagavatam. One time when Krishna was there in the Gurukul of Sandipni Muni, and then Sandipni Muni one time asked one of the boy in the Gurukul, Sudam, that, so in those days, these students, disciples, they'll go and collect the firewood from the forest, and some of them they'll cook, and like that different students, they will have the different services. So the Sudam was sent in the forest to collect the firewood, right? And then he was doing that, and suddenly it became very cloudy, and then it started raining. So Krishna was also there along. So it became so, thundering and raining and all that, they got lost in the forest. Krishna and one of his friend. and they're wondering like how to go. It is already dark in the night. So whole night they could not go back to Gurukul. Somehow they managed somewhere in the forest, in some tree and something like that. So when the Sandip Nimini got to know that, oh, these two disciples are missing, then morning, with his or some bunch of other students, they came and they were looking and searching them in the forest. And finally, they could trace them. And then Sandip Nimuni came, and then he saw these two students whole night. It was raining, it was thundering, it was so cold, so much austerity, these two young boys. They took that. So by seeing that, the Sandip Nimuni was very happy that, these two students, so nicely, they're so committed. For my seva, they took all this austerity. So he was very, very happy and satisfied. So in the Bhagavatam it says that next day when Sandip Nimuni came in search of them, he was pleased by their sincere attempts to serve and blessed them by saying, so he was very pleased, and then he blessed them. He said, "You boys are first class Brahmanas, and I am satisfied with you. May all your desires be fulfilled, and may the Vedic mantras you have learned never lose their meaning for you, in this world or in the next." The Supreme Lord Krishna, while recollecting this incident, says in the Bhagavatam. So Krishna is remembering this. That how our Guru blessed us. Because somehow or other, we just could please him by your seva. So this is what the Krishna is quoting this verse. Krishna is remembering this in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 80. What is saying? I, the soul of all beings, am not as satisfied. Krishna is speaking this word. I, the soul of all the beings, not as satisfied by ritual worship, Brahmanical initiation, tapasya, or self-discipline. I am not as satisfied as I am by faithful service rendered to one's spiritual master. These are Krishna's words. If you serve your Guru faithfully by following his instruction, I am more satisfied than trying to do all other things. So this is the secret revealed here. So just to summarize quickly, that there's a need of a spiritual master. If we don't go to a Guru, then we can misunderstand, we can misinterpret the meaning of the scriptures. And we discussed about all those stories. We cannot have direct access to the Lord. Like a big fire, you cannot touch the fire. You need some biomedia. Or it is like Guru Sishya Parampara, the transmission, distribution, and the end user. So this is how this knowledge should come. So Pranipat and Pariprashna. Submissively go, submit first, ask the questions, and do the seva. Seva is the most important thing. Now question is, just to close our discussion, what is the seva? How do we do the seva? And there's so many people come, everybody doesn't get the seva, maybe some of them they get. So what seva we can do? Seva is very, very simple. Just by following the instruction of a bona fide Guru is the seva. So like for us, Acharya Srila Prabhupada is coming in the Brahma Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya, a bona fide Guru Sishya Parampara. Prabhupada has set an standard for all the followers. He says, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhupada says, chant every day 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. So we should aspire. At least start with 1 round, 2 rounds. And then gradually we should aspire, okay, I also want to follow 16 rounds daily chanting. This is following. This is satisfying the Guru, pleasing the Guru. Then we'll receive the blessings. And like that, I just quoted one thing, but few more instruction that Prabhupada says, read the scriptures, Gita, Bhagavatam, follow the 4 regulative principles. When we do sincerely, then we are pleasing the spiritual master, a bona fide Guru, and by satisfying through all this following, we'll be blessed by the Guru. Okay, so we'll stop here. I think there are some performances. Anybody's any quick question or any comment? Anybody's coming first time to the temple? Hare Krishna. Those who are coming first time, please raise your hand. Okay, I see one there. Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna. So welcome to Krishna Balaram temple. We have a special gift for you. Before you leave, please contact the Mataji there on the counter at the back side. We have a very special transcendental gift for you. So do not miss to collect your gift. Okay, so we have various programs. We have the programs for the kids, we have the festivals, and various other Gita sessions we have in the morning. We have exclusive sessions on Gita. Saturday evening, Sunday afternoon, and like that. So any of you are interested to know more, you can just sign up. You give your email ID or phone number or get added to some group. So you'll get all the notifications for various programs. Okay, so thank you everyone. Generally we chant Hare Krishna mantra, one round of Hare Krishna mantra after our discussion. But today probably we can just chant 3 or 5 times maybe, because I think kids are waiting to come and perform. So please chant along with me. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Now we'll all chant along loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So Hare Krishna, thank you everyone for joining. Generally we chant 108 times. So you can chant later at your own convenience. And not only today, but it is recommended one should chant at least minimum of 108 times this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It's a very, very powerful process. Okay, so they're ready? Hare Krishna. So there will be some performance by all the Sunday school kids. So please witness and enjoy, and then encourage them by your clappings. Hare Krishna. Volume.
Okay, Vaibhav.